Welcome. We are going to be doing a Review.edu today on crystal soap creations. This is by Project 2MC and says that we are going to learn the science behind crystal soap making. So this product is marketed as a STEAM product, which is essentially STEM with the inclusion of art. So science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. And I'll give you a bit of a spoiler alert. Art is about the extent of what we get from STEAM in this. This is recommended for ages 6+, and comes with everything you need to make crystal soap. One of the things I did notice, the Project 2MC has a Netflix logo with it. It is a show on Netflix. Very much I looked a little bit into it, focused around girls doing science, and that's pretty cool. That has definitely its place. It's an interesting show. They also talk about an app which really adds no educational value to this kit whatsoever. It's really more about the show. And about advertising for that children's show. All right, so we're going to get our package out. It does include everything it says it doesn't. It has the mold that you can see there. We have several bars of soap, the instructions, and 2 color bottles, a scent bottle, and some glitter. So a total of 3 pieces of soap to work with, as well as a mixing spoon. So we're going to look at the directions. The first thing I noticed when I look at the directions is that the first line on them actually says, "It's fun and easy to make crystal soap jewelry. See below to get started." I'm not super sure what the jewelry part of any of this is. The directions are fairly well written. They're easy to follow. As far as the science behind it, there's a couple of things on the directions that act like they're trying to be science. There's a couple of pieces of the periodic table pulled off. You can kind of see them in the corner. And then an acute triangle lower down, but nothing really explaining the science behind it, or like why they chose to put oxygen and magnesium on the paper right here. So that really doesn't go into any of that. Basically, it has you get your materials. You also need a microwave safe bowl and a knife to cut the soap. And we cut the soap into small pieces to help it heat more evenly. So right now I'm just going to cut up the soap. And it is very easy to cut, but you do need a sharp knife. A butter knife would probably not work, or it would be much more difficult. So I've got my smaller soap pieces. It's just gonna, like I said, help them melt more evenly in the microwave safe bowl. And then being this is recommended for 6-year-olds, it does say to have an adult help you heat up your squares in the microwave for 15 seconds. And it may take an additional 50 seconds depending on your microwave. I put my squares in the microwave for 15 seconds, and when they were done, it actually had started bubbling over and kind of overflowing out of the bowl and making a bit of a mess. And it's hard to see because the soap is white and the bowl is mostly white, but it did raise up, and there's like, you can see me scooping bits off the edge from where it overflowed. And that was just with the 15 seconds. So it may even take less time than that, depending on your microwave. So then the next step is to pour the melted soap into the gemstone molds. And I used a paper bowl, which made pouring this in really super easy. I think if I hadn't lost any soap to the microwave, and it overflowing and making kind of a mess in my microwave, I think it probably would have actually completely filled up the 3 and maybe even had enough to do the 4th one. I'm not super sure. And you can see the little spoon they provide does come in handy quite a few times throughout, as far as getting the rest of it out of the bowl and mixing things later. The other things the directions do have is they have the steps written out, but then they also have the steps laid out purely in picture form. Although I did find it interesting that they chose to do step 1, step 2, step 3, etc. for the written ones, and then they did A, B, C, but they do reference each image in the writing, in the written steps. So here I'm adding 2 drops of the vanilla scent to each soap. And then I'm coming in and adding the color. And one of the things that it shows on the box and on the directions and things is that you can create these like 2-toned multicolored soaps. And so that's something I really wanted to try to do, but it doesn't really give you any directions for it. It does say remove the soap dye dropper cap and squeeze 2 drops of 1 or 2 colors into the mold. So it did make me think that, you know, it was something very much that we could do. So this first one I do is just purple, and it mixed really easily, no problems with it whatsoever. And I'm going to start with the green on this one, so I didn't want to mix them up. Although you can see, like, the very first time I start stirring it, like, they start mixing up. So I ended up just mixing those 2 together completely, and I try again with the second one to keep them a little more separated. So I get like the 2 tones of color in the 3rd soap mix. And I do better with it that time, but nothing like what they have on the packaging. And so you can see I'm being just really careful with the purple and just working right on the edge. And then even there, though, some of the color mixes. But it like I said, it does end up being quite a bit better. I wiped the spoon off again so it doesn't mix too much with the green. And it definitely gets like a swirl effect with the purple coming around the outside and then some mixing towards the left corner there. But not as bad as the gray that I got for the first one I tried with the 2 colors. I did decide to add glitter to that one. I thought with it being so gray, it needed a little sparkle. So this step, it tells you to mix the glitter and the color together. It does say that if you mix it lightly, that you'll have darker and lighter highlights, but that's with a lot of white in it. And then it does say that as the soap cools, the colors do bleed into each other, and it suggests spraying it with rubbing alcohol to eliminate bubbles, but they don't provide rubbing alcohol or a spray bottle or anything like that. And then you let your soap cool for an hour before you pop it out. So as far as the learning for this goes, it definitely gives you practice with the process of soap making, with using the molds, mixing the soap, mixing the colors. There is no science in this activity whatsoever. If you are interested in making soap, it's a great starter kit to like give you a mold that you can reuse, give you some practice materials, so if you mess up, you can try again. A couple of different options for colors and things like that, and it's a great starter kit, but truly not a STEAM worthy title. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, and comment below. Tell me what your experiences with the kits have been.